Howdy y'all, this is William Faery. I'm running for Justice of the Peace in Precinct 2 in Kendall County. This is the first in a series of videos I decided to make so that you, the people of Kendall County, especially Precinct 2, get to know me as a person, know where I stand on some of these issues that are blowing up online, and just so you can have a better idea of who you possibly could be voting for. A lot of the issues online: growth, explosive growth, ridiculous growth. We all know this, and we're going to discuss it, and you're going to know where I stand. What else is on there? There's traffic, there's the roads, there's water, there's flooding. I'm going to make videos on each of those. But today, I want to discuss the most frequent question that I get asked on the street when I tell people that I'm running, and that is, what are the duties and responsibilities of the Justice of the Peace? I know most people know, well, I can marry people and I deal with traffic tickets, things like that. But there's a lot more that goes into it. So let's go ahead and get started right now. Number one, the JP is the presiding officer over the Justice Court and a small claims court. So just like you see on TV, Judge Judy or the People's Court, boom, you got the idea. We'll get a little bit more into that as they are also part of the Justice Court, and I'll name that number two. Number two, JP has jurisdiction over small claims that are less than or equal to $20,000, and they have jurisdiction over Class C misdemeanors. Let me give you an example of a Class C misdemeanor. I made a note, so don't be surprised I'm looking at a little bit of notes. But these are just four that I picked out so you can kind of know. So things like driving without a valid license, theft under $100, public intoxication, disorderly conduct. Those are Class C misdemeanors. And that is what you may come to the JP court to deal with. Number three, the Justice of the Peace can issue arrest and search warrants. Now, this is a sticky one, and I'm already seeing something blow up online. Maybe not blow up online, but someone mentioned something about it. I'm going to be making two separate videos about this. I think this is important because when you're signing arrest warrants and search warrants, you need to be on your game. You can't be messing around. So the two videos I will be making about this are where I stand on arrest warrants and search warrants. And another sticky subject under that is the DUI blood draw. Some people agree with it, some people don't. And I'll be making separate videos about that. Number four, the JP has jurisdiction over suspending a driver's license. So if you are in a situation where your license may be suspended, once again, we can cover that in the Justice Court. Number five, as I mentioned before, the Justice of the Peace can perform marriage ceremonies. Think long and hard before you get married, but if you want to, you can come to the Justice Court. Number six, the JP is the notary public for the precinct. I imagine that people, and I've seen it, people walk into the JP's office and have a need a notary done, and the justice does it for them, and I'm sure there's some issues or ways that they have to do it for the county also. So he is a notary public for the precinct. Number seven, what I mentioned before is there are numerous administrative and financial duties that the JP has to deal with. They have to deal with the budgets for their office. They have to take care of, fines just don't go to his office and disappear. You have to take care of the money that goes there. The JP has a clerk that helps him deal with things like that. But it's a lot of paperwork. So in doing all these responsibilities, you're going to come to find out this is not the easiest job in the world. And once again, you need to be on your game if you're going to be doing this job. Number eight, the Justice of the Peace deals with truancy. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory, but this is one of those areas where everybody is a person. There's different reasons why truancy occurs, and you have to be able to take each case one by one You just can't blanket and make decisions that way. So that is one that I thought was very important, along with the next one also. Number 9, justice of the peace deals with evictions. Now I know while we were in the pandemic, there was certain statutes that were put out on who could get evicted, who couldn't get evicted more likely. Recently, the Supreme Court has made a decision that is over. Of course, the current administration is finding a way to try and get around that. My job as a justice of the peace would be to follow statutes on that. There's not much more that goes into that, but once again, this is a case-by-case basis on things that happen like that. But there are statutes that are in place that you can follow, and that's what the justice of the peace would do. Number 10. This is an important one that I learned as I was studying for the job. Kendall County doesn't have a coroner. And so when a county doesn't have a coroner, that responsibility falls on the justice of the peace. Now, there are 4 JPs here because we have 4 precincts, and we all share the duty. But it's one of those duties that's kind of a strange one. And in talking to a couple of the JPs, they were like, yeah, this is, I wouldn't say they said it was a weird one, but it was a very important responsibility that a lot of counties don't have to deal with. So in saying that, if there's a traffic accident and someone dies, if someone passes at the emergency room, this is something that the justice of the peace would have to take into consideration, have to deal with. And finally, number 11, and this one is a pretty important one with the world we're living in today. The justice of the peace has magistrate duties. So not only do they work in their own office, but let me speak for Precinct 2. I know that the current JP has magistrate duties on a Monday morning. So he goes to the jailhouse and does that. Now this has to deal with bail. Okay, I think it goes without saying that if you have a possible felon in the jail and they're coming in front of you to see if they can get released or see where the bail is set, if they're a flight risk, if they're a problem to the, could be a possible danger to the public, I think, like I said, that goes without saying. They're going to get bailed. No one's getting released like that. Not in Kendall County. You must be crazy if you think that's going to happen. But you look at case by case. Everything is case by case. So you always have to go back to the law. So you hate to say something like that, and but if there's a danger to the public or there's a flight risk, sorry, buddy, it ain't happening. So there you go. Those were the top 11 things I thought were the most important things that I believe are some of the duties and responsibilities of the justice of the peace. And I want that to set a foundation so at least when you are voting. This coming early voting starts February 14th through the 25th, and the election is on March 1st. So I want you to go in there. I want you to be knowledgeable. I want you to pick the right person. Hopefully you feel that person is me. But like I said, we're going to have a lot more videos so that you can make a better educated decision in the voting box. If you feel that there is a subject that you want talked about or that you want to know about me,